All right, this one is going to be a little tech heavy if you're an audio person or not a software engineer. In a previous video, I talked about this GitHub repository where I'm using an AI to help me build audio effects overnight. I figured I'd explain a little bit more about how I'm doing this to give you some ideas for your own experimental play. Fundamentally, this runs off of command line tools. If you've only used AI in a web chat interface, you can't do this with that. So look up stuff like Google Gemini CLI or Claude Code, and literally just yesterday, OpenAI released a tool called Codex, which you can download. I've set up a nightly task on my machine using a tool called Cron. Windows has Task Scheduler. And for me, Cron runs a Claude Code style program. I use a thing called Warp Terminal, and there are a lot of these things. I've just given you a few of them. If you're doing this for the first time, really don't worry about which one to use. When the program starts up from the command line overnight, I can send it a prompt, and so I tell it to read this agents.md file that's on my disk. That file tells it that it's going to make audio effects for me, and it should read three other files: learnings.md, rules.md, and tasks.md. If you've never heard of an MD file or a markdown file, it's just a fancy text file. Don't worry about what it is. Learnings is a file that the AI writes for itself anytime it learns something based on new things that I tell it to research or any information that I give it. Rules is exactly what it sounds like it is: a set of rules and a style and instructional guide for coding. Tasks is also what it sounds like it is. It's a to-do list of tasks that I want the AI to perform, one very small one overnight. Long story short, it'll pick a task on its own, do that task, and then summarize what it did for me and write that into a file called communication.md. That way, when I wake up the next day, I can see exactly what it's done and how. Hilariously, it does prioritize to its own whims, as it's kind of procrastinated a task for me to convert Python scripts to Lua scripts 3 nights in a row now. You do have to be pretty explicit with these things if you want something specific in terms of the output. Anyway, what I'm finding useful here is that this thing can work on a side project for me independently of my time. No, I don't view this as an employee or something massively earth-shattering or life-changing in the way that I work. It may well become that, but the results are just too inconsistent for me to latch on to hyperbole like that right now. As always, especially if you know none of this, I hope this encourages you to explore and just play a little. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in another video.